What's up YouTube? I'm Wel-Don. Welcome back to the channel Well-Done Tanks. So a few weeks ago we did a video doing instructions on how to actually hatch a clutch of mystery snail eggs, and I've actually got a really cool video out. Cards will be up in the corners for everything I'm referencing on actually watching a mystery snail lay a clutch of eggs. It was one of the coolest things I was ever able to capture on camera, but one thing I failed to do was actually talk about how to then actually hatch the clutch of eggs. So we did the entire video showing you how to make an incubator out of Tupperware, and after that though I got in so many questions on that video of like what to do, like how long do I wait for the eggs to hatch, what's the time frame, what's the process, what does it look like. So today's video I want to do a quick one, break it down really simple and show you how to hatch, like actually physically hatch the egg. So I did need to wait for some eggs to come in season, and as you can kind of see, I'm using a macro lens, so it's kind of hard for me to point. On the very left of the screen, so the two egg clutches on the left, those are ready to hatch. There may be a few eggs in there that could take a little bit longer, but then the two clutches on the right are not ready. Those are probably laid about 2 days ago. So they still, and this is about that time frame when I would choose to move them. And I have had so many clutches of eggs that I stopped actually doing incubators for all of them, because I think I've actually at one point had upwards of 30 clutches at once on this tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove one of those clutches, and we will then show you what we're going to actually do with that clutch. All right, so after you remove your clutch, and this is so much easier to do in an incubator to actually remove the clutch. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna look for, you know it's gonna be ready to hatch when it's looking moldy. So the one it's already in here was looking really moldy. If you go back to the beginning of the video, it gets that gray off-white coloration. That is actually the baby snails eating their way through the egg, and that's when you know your clutch is ready to hatch. This can take anywhere, I'm gonna say 2 to 5 weeks, average being 2 to 3. That's the success I've seen. And then after you remove that clutch and it's ready to hatch, I like to use a specimen container just so I can keep track of them. But you're actually just gonna take this in the water and rub it between your fingers. It's all you're gonna do. And that is gonna release all the little baby snails, and then you can keep track of them from there. Now I like to release them into a specimen container mainly because so I can kind of keep track of them for the first couple days. If you want to, you can use a little Tupperware. You can release them right into a tank, but because they're so small, I mean just pinhead small, it's easier to do it into a really small container. That way you can, like I said, that way you can actually keep track of them. So this is really what I meant by just how absolutely just tiny these little snails are. So these are all baby mystery snails that we were able to hatch out of there. I mean, you can get hundreds out of one clutch. Like you can get so many out of one clutch. This was a fairly small clutch that came out of a snail, but you can just see that they're starting to move around just a little bit. And if you want to leave the remnants of that clutch actually in the tank with them, or the breeder box would work perfect for this. I've actually done a review of the Penplax breeder box that would work great for this actually. But this is how small these little snails hatch out. So like I said, anywhere from probably 2 to 3 weeks being average. And once you start seeing that clutch of eggs look like it's turning moldy, that's the time you're going to want to do this. That's the time where you're going to remove the clutch from your incubator and rub it between your fingers underwater to release all the baby snails. Now if you want to, you can actually leave all of the clutch attached to the side of the tank and just let it hatch naturally. They'll just eat their way out, drop down to the tank. I would only do that though if you have a specific mystery snail breeding tank, as fish will pick these off because they are tiny. That's why I like to use like a breeder box or a specimen container. So guys, I hope this is a good follow-up to the last video we did. I've had a lot of questions, so good luck continuing breeding your snails. I am excited to continue to do these and really excited to get these into their own specific tank to really see how many we can raise up. So if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, let me know how your mystery snails are doing, how you like to hatch them out, and we will see you guys in the next one.